I may want to speak without a mic. Is that okay? So, off with their head. I wish I had 30 seconds. First of all, I am grateful for Creative Mornings for inviting me to be a speaker. And I know that the speakers who've come before me have done a great job, and so that puts a lot of pressure on me. But I want to make sure that by the time today is over, you have left with something that will be life-changing for you. Even if it's a thought or an idea or something you're going to do different beginning today. So if you're committed to that, I'm committed to that. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So when they asked me to speak about this topic, I don't know if you know, but they give you a few topics. One of them was death. So I chose this. Just so you whoever's next, I don't know what they're going to do. Okay. So serendipity, but before I get into the topic, I'm going to tell you a life story that not many people know about me. Let's see, when I was 13 years old, we were a homeless family, basically. My dad had left, my mom had twin sons, I have a twin brother, and a daughter who's 4 years younger, and I was sleeping on a door, practically, in a room with no facilities whatsoever in Damascus, Syria. And my mom belonged to a church who was very helpful to her in giving her that room. But that room was a standalone type of a thing. You can imagine what that looks like. We actually had to walk to a mosque to go to the bathroom, which was about 15 minutes away. So you pretty much had to plan your bathroom breaks. You can't like wait. But regardless, at the end of the day, it was a very challenging time, and I did not know better, so it was okay. We stood on a soup line in one of those church soup lines and what have you, and managed to live day to day. And a man in the U.S. by the name of Douglas Barrett, and I honor this man for what he's done, decided to pick me out of all the people he wanted to send $25 a month to, like a child, whatever you call it, I don't know, sponsor a child. So for 6 years, he sent $25 a month, which was in US dollars equivalent to pay all the food costs for the family to eat. And my mother, who's very champion, usually, by the way, women make things happen, men just, it's true. Although there are a few outstanding men out there, but the concept is women are amazing. So this woman was phenomenal, my mom, and she was determined to bring us to the States. She challenged the ambassador from the U.S. to Lebanon to actually give us green cards before we came. We arrived in Kennedy Airport, and they handed us a green card. Go figure that out. Anyway, when we got here, we wanted to go meet this guy who was sending the 25 bucks. So we found a way to get in touch with him, and he came and picked us up in Jersey City and took us up in Westchester, where he lived in a beautiful home. We spoke no English, he spoke no Arabic, and we were in this car like smiling at each other. Yeah. And I was like I'm in awe, 18 years old at the time when I immigrated, and it was just an experience. And when we got there, he was telling his son, supposedly, to be friends with us. And his son said, I don't want to have anything to do with this guy. He doesn't even speak English, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I turned out to be the best man in his son's wedding long later. But here's the amazing thing. He gave me a job to be a filing boy in his insurance agency in Rockefeller Center. I didn't know the alphabet, so they put the alphabets on the filing cabinets. And in those days, in 1974, they did not have computers pretty much. They had microfilm, microfiche, whatever. And I learned the alphabet by filing. Within a year, he allowed me to answer the phone, and I made a mess with that. There was a guy who said, my cesspool collapsed. I said, I'm sorry you can't swim this year, whatever. And of course, he got pissed off and said, can I talk to your boss? Anyway, eventually they allowed me to take calls, quote car insurance, quote life insurance, and within 11 years, I became the #1 insurance agent in the whole country for State Farm. So, when you talk about serendipity, right, I truly believe it is not an accident. It is something you and I cause. Now, if you read the definition, let's go to that. It says the faculty of making fortunate discoveries by accident. So are you waiting for an accident to make it happen? I'm not. So I'm going to give you a few ideas on how to cause more serendipity in your life. And then I'll end with a story that just happened 3 days ago, and I don't know if Heidi is here. Is Heidi here? No, okay. So let's go to the first slide. The neutral eye. The neutral eye is an eye that is non-judgmental, right? We were born, by the way, by the time you see this whole 7 ideas, it will bring you back to your childhood. Because children are the most amazing humans. And we get ruined as we get older. Seriously. We were born with no judgment, no prejudice, right? No political opinions. I didn't know Democrat from Republicans. I didn't know gay from straight. I had no idea. I didn't know if fire burns my hand. But I've learned that. And I was taught. And I formed habits, right? And as we get older, we form habits that are not necessarily good for us. But the concept of having a neutral eye, meaning, can you imagine if you bring your eye back to the neutrality that you were born with, instead of what has happened and colored your lenses? It is that causes us the problem of missing the concepts and the ideas and the possibilities and the serendipity that's going on all around you, but you're not even present to it. So to gain that back, you must go back to the originality of who you were, which means you let go of everything that you have seen that colored your lens. Now, I'm not telling you to not have any good judgment. Don't get me wrong. You know, they say, well, you're supposed to learn from the past. But guess what? The past is standing in the way of your future. It's truly standing in the way of your future. So if you can learn to regenerate your eye back, bring it back to where it was, you will see a lot more. You will see a lot more. Cool. Next. Clearing. To create a clearing, you know, they say a skier, a great skier who's going downhill is not looking for the trees to avoid them. He's looking for the clearing to go for a path, right? If you begin to look at the trees, you will actually hit one. So what are you looking for? When you get up in the morning and say, oh shit, I have to deal, right? If that is what you're looking for, if that is what your conversation is going on, so in your mind, are you creating a clearing for a bigger possibility so that you can actually smell serendipity when it's happening, not even just see it? You've got to be able to smell it. And I'll tell you this, serendipity is not an accident. It is created and recognized by you because it is happening whether you like it or not. Serendipity is actually around you and taking place and happening for you and for them, but because you're not awake, because you don't have a clearing to receive something like that, you are missing what it is. So that means you're missing all these beautiful opportunities of meeting someone who passed by you. As a matter of fact, there's someone sitting here in front sitting at C Street Coffee. And what's happened since we met is phenomenal. And it's all because we were both pretty much awake. Does that make sense? Okay, next. The possibility, the word possibility. Does anybody really get to know what that means? So let me tell you this. When people play the lottery, do you think they think it's probable that they will win? Or do they think that it's possible that they will win? Possible. The lottery system is totally about possibility. But yet, they'll play the lottery because they think it is possible to win the 5 million jackpot, but yet they won't take the chance on a business to start. Or they won't take, right? Or they won't take the chance on someone to date. Or they won't take the chance on someone to say, I do, because they're afraid based on their past. And but what they've seen, so their neutral eye is no longer neutral, their ears are no longer virgin, right? Their thinking is clouded, and all of a sudden it's fraught with issues and challenges, and therefore I step away. And they miss that whole opportunity of what is possible for them, both in their personal lives and in your business life. So in order to experience greater possibilities, you must let go of all the barriers. And that means you. Let go of you. Get yourself out of the way. I always tell my clients, what the fuck are you thinking? Seriously, I use a brick to the head program, I call it. Because in coaching, you're not supposed to do that. Because in coaching, you're supposed to say, well, so what do you think will work better for you? I'm like, no, I'm not waiting for that to happen. So I take a brick, hit him on the head, say, all right, now we're going to start. So let's start over. Because at the end of the day, it is you who is creating the thing. It is you who is standing in your own way. And we don't see the possibility because we have been totally violated in our minds and our way of thinking that we begin to say, well, that's all that's been done and that's all I can do and that is all that they'll allow me to do. No. The sky is the limit. The thing is, you have put limits on yourself in your own mind. And that's what's stopping us sometimes from having a breakthrough. Next. So maximizing serendipity is a pretty interesting thing. Because when serendipity happens and you recognize it, you can actually bask in the sunshine of this thing and kind of take it to a level and say, okay, this was awesome. Great to meet you. It was amazing. And, that was so amazing. We had so much in common. Yeah. And 6 months go by and you haven't done a thing with it. We don't ride the wave. We get the wave, we jump off, and then, okay, bye, see you guys later. I am determined that when serendipity happens, when something amazing happens, I am following up. I'm scheduling another meeting. I'm doing something for them. It's not about you. It's not about you. If you begin to think that it's about you, you miss the whole point. It's about what can you do for someone else. And that's the follow-up. That's the maximizing of serendipity. If everyone is thinking this way, imagine what the world would be like. The thing is, everybody is selfish. As a matter of fact, there's something called Self Magazine. I don't want to have anything to do with that, by the way. Seriously. It is not about me. It is not. If we live that way, it is a life-changing way of thinking. And then you're basically open to what is possible, and you're open to changing the lives of everyone else in your sphere, if you will. Next. Catch it before it disappears. It's a use it or lose it thing. Because if you miss it, guess what? Who knows where the word opportunity comes from? Does anybody know? We have a Frenchman in the room. Where is my friend? Oh, there you are. Opportune. The word opportune means that a ship captain has only one chance to dock into the shipyard, into the port. And that's why they're called opportune. And if high tide is gone, he was drinking, and high tide missed it, he missed his what? One chance, right? So he has to wait another 24 hours. So what happens here is, if you don't see serendipity come for you or near you, and you miss it, you may never have the opportunity to meet that person again, or to create something different from that moment. The thing is, we're almost always with our eyes shut. We're not present because we have our own baggage and stinking thinking and all that stuff, right? We have baggage. And we are so consumed by what is going on for us in our day and our month. And I have more months than money. And believe me, listen, life brings issues. And I've been there. But make a commitment. Make a commitment that you'll go back to how you were when you were born. That's where I'm taking it. Go back to that child that was so curious, right? You wanted to do everything. You never thought anything would stand in your way. When somebody told you no, you was like, what? No? What does that mean? I don't even know. Does that mean go touch it? That's what a child thinks. They don't know. You taught them what no is. You think they don't? They did not know. The thing is, how are you going to take no for an answer? Why? Right? Why? Go back. So the human element of serendipity is the most beautiful part, that it is about connecting and reconnecting. We have, and I give a talk about networking, and it says, when we were growing up, we were told, don't talk to strangers. No, who's a stranger? Why are you going there? Don't talk to strangers. But then they graduate from college and they say, go talk to some stranger. So first they train you this way, then they train you the other way. And guess what? By the time we're 24, I'm afraid of strangers. By the time they've told me everything I should know, right? Supposedly. So now I'm like, I go to the room and I'm like, yeah, that's about it. And if I had a meeting with somebody, that was the end. Le fin, the end. The movie is over. But if you're smart, if you want to really create opportunities, if you want to create serendipity in your life, you're not going to let go of that human. Now, don't harass people. I'm not telling you to go. And all of a sudden, from this moment on, everybody in West Palm Beach is getting harassed. but in a beautiful way, stay in touch. In a beautiful way, stay in touch. It doesn't mean that you're not real. That's the more real you are, the better off you are. So meaning when they see you and you're not doing great, tell them you're not doing great. Don't put on this facade. You know, I had 2 businesses that failed. One of them cost me over like $1 million in debt. And let me tell you something, there were some amazing people that I owed money to that were gracious to me because I was straightforward with them. This authenticity is beautiful. You cannot lose if you're authentic. So being yourself and to actually create this amazing relationship with people and not just a contact. No one is a contact to you. They're a relationship, and you have to foster and nurture. And from that, you create opportunities. It's not because of that one hit, that one meeting, the chance meeting that you had. Okay? So I fell in love with this woman from the moment I saw her. I don't know what to tell you. She was sitting at C Street Coffee, and I'm sitting there. I'm having my morning egg sandwich, which I'm going to open this thing called Egg Bar, by the way, just so you know. I'm putting it out there. And so she steps away from her books, and I'm like, and it was for a while, I thought maybe she left the books, and I'm like curious, and I'm concerned that maybe she left her books. When she came back, I said, oh, good, that, you know. And then we had a chance conversation. She is now joining the Human Capital Group as one of our coaches. So you'll be hearing about Amy Call, because she's an amazing human being. But if that chance opportunity did not happen, and a follow-up, and then another follow-up, it would have been just a chance meeting, right? Have you spent time to get to know somebody? Social media is great, by the way. You can figure out if they had kids or not, did they get married, oh yeah, they got divorced, my life is complicated, you know, all that stuff, right? But that is not fellowship, that's not relationship. That's just a connection. You gotta take it deeper than that. You gotta take it deeper than that. Okay, next. So in Arabic, there's a word called maktub. Maktub, who's heard of the word? It's an amazing word. It means it was written, that you actually are not doing any writing yourself. Now, I'm not going to say that that's exactly how I believe, but there is a certain thing as destiny, right? What is your destiny? What is it that you were meant to be? What is it you were meant to do? What change in the world are you supposed to cause? Find that, right? Find what is written for you. And then maximize that. And then maximize it. So it says, don't run away from your destiny. Rather, find it and hold on tight and discover who you really were meant to be. And don't give up because there was a hiccup. You can't. Because if you're really meant to be that, then you will keep going. You know, they say, if you know your why, who's heard of that before? If you know your why, any how and any what will be nothing to you. The thing is, have you discovered what your why is? Why were we meant to meet? Why did we connect? What was the reason this happened? This is what life is all about. The thing is, we got so busy, and politics are there, and debt is there, and challenges are there, and divorce is there, and all that stuff, right? And at the end of the day, we pay for all that. We become numb to what life is. So I'm asking you to open your eyes real wide and bring them back to their neutral state where you were born with. Clear your mind of this clutter, of this baggage that you carry. There was a woman who put an ad for a date. She said, she didn't say, I want a man with no baggage. She said, you can come with baggage and I'll help you unpack. So you can do this by yourself, by the way. You don't have to wait for somebody else to unpack your baggage. You can kind of get rid of everything that in your head. I'm serious, clear your head, because the clearer your mind, the more neutral your eyes, the more open you are to see serendipity happening right around you, in your neighborhood, in your office, in your home, in every relationship you're in. And I'm going to go for one more, and then I'll close. How much time do I have? Cool. You can read this obviously for yourself. It says, life is not merely a series of meaningless accidents or coincidences, but rather it is a tapestry of events that culminate in an exquisite, sublime plan. Maktub. It was written. And it's for you to discover what that is. It really is. So 3 days ago, I'm in my office, and the police call and say, your car was in an accident. I'm like, I am here. And my car is parked. Well, supposedly a woman by the name of Heidi, who will remain unknown because she was supposed to be here today. And she was backing into her parking spot, and she really kind of clipped my left bumper. And she's amazing. She calls the police, doesn't leave a note. And she's sitting in the car shaking like this. I'm like, oh, you poor thing. So I go down, of course, I said, oh my God, don't worry about it. She's, oh my God, I ruined your car. It's brand new. It wasn't brand new. But anyway, it was always clean. So I said, don't worry. It's nothing. It's just property. People are more important than property, right? That's the value. People is the value. I don't give a shit about cars, although I like to drive one. So then we started talking. And it turns out she is part of a new hair salon that's taking over for John Barrett. Who knows the John Barrett salon on the island? It's a great salon. And this new salon with the name Woody Mishleb, a really well-known hairstylist, taking this huge, I don't know how much rent he's paying, but anyway, I ended up meeting him yesterday. He turns out to be Lebanese. He and I are going to do amazing things together. It was one accident. But was it really an accident? Think about it. It would have been an accident if I was a jerk and came down and said, what the fuck did you do? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Stay away from me, right? So did you create serendipity, or did it really just happen? So I invite you to really look at your life in a different way. Start really bringing yourself back to that beauty of who you were. Nothing wrong with who you are today. I'm not saying that. But I think the more important is how open the world will be, how much more powerful you will be if you will just go back to your original self and live life as if you've never had it experienced before. Take a chance on people. It's okay to make a mistake. Listen, a hockey goalie, when he lets one in, when you make a mistake, most people don't even know. Right? So, first of all, thank you. I give you a hand for being here.